Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you some of my favourite VS Code extensions. So if you want to make coding more efficient or you just want to see some cool things you can add to your VS Code, you're in the right place. We're going to look at some functional extensions and some more visual ones. So if you're ready, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get started. So I always get asked what theme I use for my VS Code, and for the last few years it's been a Flatland Monokai theme. And as you can see, it's a dark theme, but it still has lots of sharp, bright colours. I also use Fira font, which lets me do ligatures like this and this, which look really cool, I think. If you want to grab that font, I'll leave that down in the description below. And to finish off my look, I use Material Icon Theme. This just gives me all the nice icons for my files and folders. So they have some really interesting ones here. Like JSON, Prettier, all the ones you could ask for, they are all in here. Again, I've used this for a few years and I absolutely love it. So the next extension I want to show you is Auto Rename Tag. Auto Rename Tag is one of those extensions that saves you a few seconds, but they all add up, right? And let me show you how it works. So we're just going to our index file here now, and say we have a H1 and we just want to change that to a H3. It will rename our closing tag to whatever, and we can do it to a paragraph tag. It renames the other tag, and it works in reverse. So we can say H1 here, and it will change the starting tag. The next extension I'm going to show you is Prettier, and as you can see, it's a code formatter. And what that means in essence is it can tidy up your code. So by default, once we installed it, if we click Format Document, it will correct things like indents, and will also correct quotes to double quotes. But we can also configure Prettier with a configuration file, which is really handy when you're working in teams. So here's my configuration file in Prettier. So I'm telling it I want my indentation to be a tab width of 4. I'm saying I want all semicolons to be there, so if they're not there, to add them. And I also want all my quotes to be single quotes, not double. So let's jump back into our main.js. And if I format the document, you can see all the double quotes have now gone to single quotes. We are now 4 tabs in, and any semicolons we missed are now added. So it's very useful for keeping your code clean and working with teams. Bracket Pair Colorizer is our next extension, and I think we've all been there when we've tried to find out where our closing bracket is in a large file. And Pair Bracket Colorizer helps us with that. So if you look at our JS file now with Bracket Pair Colorizer off, we see all our curly brackets are white. So especially if our indentation is all over, we might struggle with finding which bracket is the closing bracket. So Bracket Pair Colorizer makes that easy. So you can see really clearly here that for our nav toggle, we have a purple curly bracket. And inside that we have our for each, which has a yellow. So we can clearly see at the end of our function, when the closing brackets are, which closing brackets belong to which type. If you've watched any tutorials on my channel, you've probably seen me use this extension before. This is Live Server. So what Live Server does is it allows us to run up a server, which is very helpful for being able to save files in our project, and our browser auto reloads. So the way it works, once you installed it, is you come down to the bottom and you can click Go Live. And that starts the server on this address. So you can see now that if we change our project, change our H1 to our H3, and give it a save, our browser auto reloads for us, saving us just a little bit of time going back and forward to our browser each time we make a change. So our next extension is Live Sass Compiler, and that's created by the same person who created our last extension, the Live Reload. And Live Sass Compiler, as you could probably guess, is exactly that. It will compile our Sass down to CSS, and it will watch our Sass files for any changes and recompile as we go. So we have a style.scss here, and if we go down to the bottom and watch our Sass, you can see it started and it's created a style.css for us. Now if we change our color of our H1, maybe we want to go to a more green color, give that a save, you can see that has recompiled and changed in our style.css. So you may have noticed through this video, I had this little minutes counter down here. And this is part of an extension called WackerTime. Now, WackerTime can keep track of all your metrics and your insights, what you've been working on and how long for. So it also has its own web dashboard, so you can come in here, check which languages you've been coding in, how long for, and which projects you've been working on. So it's really kind of interesting to see what you've been working on and how long you've been spending your time on. Really nice little plugin. You just need an API key to put into the extension, and it just sits in the background and does it all for you. So Live Share is by Microsoft, so the same people who actually create VS Code. And if you've got any remote work going on at the moment, this can really help you if you're working with other developers and you need them to come look at your code and help you out. So how Live Share works is we can come down to the bar at the bottom and we have this Live Share button. If we give that a click, we can see starting collaboration session. And it has copied a link to our clipboard. So I can actually join this myself to show you how it works. And if you're used to Google Docs, it kind of works the same way. So as you can see, we've got two different windows open now. This will represent two different users on two totally different machines. And as you can see, if I change something on the right, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen it's changed also. Kind of like Google Docs. So you can actually see who is working on the file with you. And same on the left side, it will change on the right side. Really feels like the future, is really cool, especially if you're doing remote working at this time. The last extension I want to show to you guys is Cold Code. So if you're one of those people who like to share their code on things like Instagram, I really like Cold Code. I just switched to this recently as I had problems with another extension, and this gives me so many more options. So if I just copy some code and open up my panel and find Cold Code. Now you can see already, it's already in there, already taken it from my clipboard. But you can do lots of things with this. So if I go to settings, you can change which background color you want, whether you want a background, the padding, the max style, which is the three little icons, box shadow as well. So if we have a white background, we can increase the box shadow. Then we can just download that or copy it. Very cool tool if you're sharing your code. And if you're not following me on Instagram, this is probably a really good segue for you to go do that. And there you have it. These are some of my favorite VS Code extensions. If I missed your favorite, let me know in the comments and I'll check it out. And as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.